Hey guys, David here doing a bit of an unusual video for this channel, and it's actually a personal first for me in a lot of ways. Actually, this is the first time I've been on camera since 2014, I think, on the channel at least. So unless you've been following me for a really long time or really like watching my old videos, this may be the first time you've ever seen me, so hi. Anyway, we're doing an unboxing video today, actually. We're unboxing a lightsaber that I just got in the mail, or at least the hilt, the part. I'm going to be doing an install and actually building the lightsaber out from just being this the shell here. But it kind of started as me deciding, oh, you know what, I'm gonna buy a lightsaber. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, so I'll get something put on my shelf. And then I fell down an internet hole and discovered a whole new world of people making replica hilts and installing LEDs and electronics into them, and it was kind of fascinating, and it led in a long way to me deciding to do my own. So the hilt has finally arrived. It took a while, through no fault of the shipper, to get here because obviously the world's gone crazy. So it's just hit my doorstep today, and then we kind of got a bonus unboxing as well because the 3D printed innards chassis part that holds all the electronics arrived. So I figured I'd unbox that as well because why not? Kind of be cool. So you obviously can't see anything I'm unboxing while you're looking at me, so I'm going to move the camera so that you can see what we're talking about, and then I'll unbox them, and we'll, share the fun together. I guess I should say what it actually is. So I've got a Korbanth Graflex Supreme lightsaber is what they call it. It is a replica of the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, the one that Anakin had, and then Luke had, and then Rey had. Which is called the Graflex because I didn't know this when I started, but actually the prop was built out of a Graflex brand flash bulb. Like, you would attach it to a camera, like if this is an old 1930s camera here, the Graflex tube would just attach onto the side, and then you'd click a button and it would take a picture and then flash. So that's what this is, and then this is just a chassis from Goth 3D Designs on Shapeways. They do 3D printed chassis that just hold all the parts in place inside, so they don't have batteries and electronic equipment rattling around inside. So let's get these set up to look at these instead of looking at me, which I'm sure you're all grateful for, and then we'll unbox. So see you in a second. Alright, so this is what we have to unbox today. I'm very excited about this. It is an 89 Sabers Graflex. I said Korbanth earlier, and that's still true. Korbanth is a company that resells and works with producers to create different lightsaber hilts. So Korbanth has created, or hasn't created, Korbanth worked with 89 Sabers, which is a Chinese company that makes really good replicas, but they're hard to get shipped directly from 89 Sabers, is my understanding. So this is a really nice box, actually. I like the printing. It's got the stamp from the bottom of the lightsaber on the box. So let's open this up and see what we've got to work with here. Oh, that is pretty. That is very pretty. All right, so we've got 3 things in this box, it looks like. Inside this is foam. It's really padded. We have the lightsaber, the flash gun itself. That is surprisingly heavy. I actually really like how heavy that is. That is really nice. So this is what the flash gun they made the prop out of would have looked like back in the 30s. Without obviously the light bulb would go up here and would attach to it, and there'd be a big flash pan behind it. But this part, this clamp, would you slip it onto the camera and then push this button, and you're taking pictures. So it even says Graflex on here, which is the company that originally made it in the 30s. That is extremely pretty. This is a working button. It's not wired, but you can put wires to it, which is what I'm going to do, so that when I have light and sound wired up to this, I'll just push this button, and it'll turn on just like in the Rise of Skywalker trailer. It's weird because in the movies, nobody seems to be consistent on how you turn this on. Like some people, Mark Hamill's always pressing this when Luke has it. He's pressing the little clamp card that's here. And some people press this button. This is also a button on this hilt, this replica. You slide it down. I don't know if you can see me doing that, but I'm pushing it down like that, and it slides. And there's a little button in here that it presses. So yeah, that is really, really pretty. I'm super impressed with that. The finish on that is really, really nice. I can't find any blemishes or scratches on it. It's not discolored in any way. And for something, this with like a brushed nickel finish, it's pretty easy for it to get screwed up. So I'm pleased with that. Let's see. What else came in the box then? I'll put this off to the side. Like so. We got two other bags, it looks like. It looks like these are the things to make it into a lightsaber as opposed to just a flash gun replica. And it looks like we've got one for A New Hope and one for Empire Strikes Back. Because obviously movie props use different versions, and I think for episode 4, all their stuff came from a prop house, so they had to give it all back at the end, and they didn't have it when they came to film Empire Strikes Back. So this version's got 7 grips that go around the bottom. It's got some screws, and I don't want to lose these. These are just, they're rubber. I thought they'd be plastic. This is going to be much more comfortable. They're like rubberized grips, and they stick onto the side of this. And if you've ever seen the movie, you'll know there's like a bunch of them around here, and you hold on it like that. So the A New Hope version has 7 grips, and they have like a bonding tape stuck on the back of them. You can peel this red stuff off, and they'll stick on pretty strongly. I'm still gonna like clean the bottom of this with some alcohol or something before I do it. And then there's you can see this. It's a plastic bubble strip. The camera will focus. This, I think the original part came out of the calculator, like it's like a magnifier lens that you can see the numbers on an LED calculator from the 70s with. But in the movie, let's see if I can actually put it in here. They slid this right in here and tightened the clamp down. It doesn't stay very well. I'll have to figure out how to tighten it if I want to do A New Hope version. And then this was like the activation stud in the movie. Like he would just hold on to this and turn it on. But it's really just a plastic bubble inside of a clamp. I think that's really cool. Yeah, so obviously there'll be a way I'll have to figure out to make it stick. And then it's got a D-ring that goes on the bottom here, so you can hang it on your belt. Let's see if I can get that to stay. It's upside down. I don't think I'm going to do the A New Hope version, because I really like the version of this lightsaber that appears in Empire Strikes Back. So that's what I'll probably be rebuilding here. But it's nice to have these in case, I ever want to get my hands on another one, or, want to use these or resell them or something. It's nice that the kit comes with both, so you have the options. I'm going to carefully put all of this back in here, and then we'll look through the other bag. And then the other bag that comes with this has what you need to make it look like it did in Empire Strikes Back. That is a very tiny screw. I don't know if you can see that. This little tiny speck of a screw in between 2 of my fingers here. Definitely putting that right back in this bag. I don't want to lose that. Need to show you the screws, really. So let's put those back. This actually has a little bit more to it because there's more options with Empire Strikes Back. It's also mostly how it appeared in The Force Awakens. I'll explain the differences if you care. So this only has 6, let's see if I can get this in the camera frame, 6 grips, and these are also nice rubberized grips. Like, this is much more comfortable than I thought it'd be. I thought they'd be like a hard plastic. So I'm pleasantly surprised about that. That's a nice feature. And these have rivets in them because apparently when they were filming Empire Strikes Back, the seams for Hoth... Oh, there's another one of those tiny screws. Let's put that back. I almost lost that one, not even noticing it was there. When they were filming Empire Strikes Back in Norway, it was very, very cold, and the adhesive keeping the grips on kept freezing solid and breaking off. So they ended up riveting the grips into the hilt so that you could actually hold on to the lightsaber. There's a different version of the D-clip for the bottom that came with this Empire Strikes Back kit. It has a different looking mount. I think they call it a kobold grip because... yeah, let me see if I can fix my camera focus. It's like not focusing where I want it to. Let's see if that's any better. They call it a kobold grip because it was the kobold flash gun that they stole it off of. It's like a different... Apparently Star Wars is built on the back of camera flash guns. They just had a box of them, I guess, and they wanted to use all of them. And then so in both A New Hope and The Force Awakens, you can see the front here, there's this glass thing. They call it the glass eye. It was on the lightsaber prop used in both A New Hope and The Force Awakens, but it wasn't in the one from from Empire Strikes Back. So you can actually, if I can do this without damaging anything, you can unscrew this. It's in there pretty good, but it's coming out. There we go. Whoa, that like popped out. It's got a spring on it. I didn't even notice that. So this is the glass eye, just kind of as it looks normally. But in The New Hope and Force Awakens, it had that. And then in Empire Strikes Back, they just put another one of these buttons from the back, and they just screwed one in on the front. So there's one of those in this kit, if I can get it to thread in right. There we go. So it doesn't... Oh, it does actually work as a button. I didn't even notice that. So yeah, it's I guess you could wire this in as a button too if you wanted to, but it's a second button for the front, because in Empire Strikes Back it looked like this, where both buttons were on there. So really picky stuff. I don't know that I'm going to be too worried about it, because, you know, it just unscrews and you can change it. So I'll put the glass eye back in, because that's how it was a second ago. Although the spring actually makes it a little tricky to screw back in. There we go. And this is actually transparent glass, so if there's an LED in here, I would think you'd probably be able to see it shine through the lens, which is kind of a cool feature. And then lastly, for the Empire Strikes Back box, there's two different, they call them clamp cards, because in Empire Strikes Back, depending on what part of the movie you're watching, because again, different props for different parts of the movies, they had circuit boards that they used in place of the bubble strip that was on the activation thing. So here's a silver one with like black detailing. It's not really like 100% silver when you look at it in person, and it's got like a black back to it. There's also, I think I'm going to use this one because I think it's cooler looking, this gold, and it's kind of like a pale off-white transparent thing you can see through. I just think that looks cooler. So I'll probably use that. And just like with the bubble strip, you just undo the clamp. I'm not sure which direction it's supposed to go. I'll have to look that up. Look up a picture or something, and then you put that in there. And there you go. You have your activation box from the movie. This also doesn't stay super well by itself. So I'll have to see if I can get some tape or a bonding strip or glue or something and stick that in there when I'm actually putting this together. But that's it for the Empire Strikes Back box. So yeah, those are... I'm probably going to build mine as either an Empire Strikes Back or the Force Awakens version of the lightsaber. And really, it's kind of interchangeable. You just have to decide whether you want to put the glass eye on the front or the red button on the front. And then you've got the prop from either one of those movies. So I don't really have to pick. And that's pretty much what comes in the box. I know you can take this apart, so I'll maybe demo that just for the sake of it and show you what's inside. So if you undo the clamp, turn it, I'll do this more in camera. Still working on that. So if you just take this clamp piece, can you see that? I've got like a second screen so I can actually see what I'm doing here. So this clamp, you undo it, and I can already feel it got loose when I did that. You take the top part, twist it about maybe 45 degrees and pull, and that pulls off the top part. The clamp also comes off, and then you have the bottom part, which is hollow, and you can see down to the bottom there's like the holes for sound and for mounting the D-rings on there. I'm looking down there, it actually looks like the inside of it is kind of a brassy color. I think the originals were actually made out of brass and nickel plated, so I'm not sure if they did that for this. And then we've got the bottom, which I didn't even show you before. I get the camera to focus. It's got the Graflex company logo stamping on the bottom, which you could see actually in the movie. Nobody expected you to be able to see it in Empire Strikes Back in the 80s. But with the advent of like 4K TVs, you can absolutely read this when they're in the Hoth cave and Luke's trying to pull this with the Force, and his lightsaber says it's being made by the former Graflex Corporation. I think that's funny. Yeah, it says made in New York, Rochester, New York, made by the former Graflex Corp, USA. So there you go. Earth is canon now, I guess. At least New York is. But yeah, so that comes apart into these three pieces, and the top has, you can see this black thing. There's like an inner core, and getting it out would be a lot of trouble to do on camera right now, but there's like an inner part. You can take this all apart to use for lightsaber installs, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a blue LED with a white LED in the top so that it like glows blue and white when it clashes into something, and a soundboard and all sorts of stuff. And I'll probably do some more videos, maybe on Saturdays or something, as I make progress on this, and you know, share that with you because I think it's pretty cool. All right, so let's see if I can put this back together. How does this work? I think I have to put the clamp on the bottom like that, and then I put the top in here until it catches, and then twist it back together. I believe that's... No, that's not right, because that's not how the top is supposed to look. So maybe like this. Okay. This is trickier than I thought it would be, to figure out how to get the top and the bottom to lock together in the right configuration. I think that's right. I think this is right. So then I lock the clamp, and I've got my flash gun. I'm going to look it up on the internet and see how it's supposed to go together, because I still don't think I have it reassembled correctly. I think it might be backwards. Like, I think the top part might actually need to go like so, maybe. I'll figure it out and come back to it. I'm just going to leave it disassembled for now, and then I'll look up how it's supposed to be put back together. The box could probably help me, because there's an indent in here for the clamp. Actually, really, this is a really nice box for it, too. Like, this is deluxe foam, basically. Very padded. There's, like, no scratches on this thing. I'm looking at it as closely as I can see. And for having shipped from China and then from Arizona to me, to have nothing on it at all is a pretty impressive feat. I'm impressed by how heavy this is, too. Like, this doesn't feel like a toy or like a, you know, like a complete replica knockoff. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like a cheap thing. It feels, you know, solidly heavy. And this is actually kind of cool. They've got they call it the bunny ears. These things are on the lightsaber, and in a lot of replicas, they are just like metal things welded to the outside, basically. But no, this is actually a separate piece you can take off on this version that goes into what used to hold the light bulb on in the flash bulb. And I don't know. I'm very pleased with this, you know? I waited for a while, and it's more than I was expecting. Like, I was expecting a lot of it because it had good reviews, and it is blowing away my expectations. So, very excited about that. I'm going to put these back in here, and then we'll unbox the chassis just as a bonus thing, because, you know, why not? I'm just going to set this back together somehow and figure out the correct way to reassemble it. I kind of thought it would only go back together one way, so I wasn't really paying attention to how it was when I took it apart. And I'll fix that later. Yeah, it's definitely not right. The clamp is backwards. So maybe I can fix that now if I know it is just backwards. May have to edit around me screwing around with this thing. Okay, I think that's right. And then I put it in like this, and it goes back in the box, or doesn't it? It's not quite right, but whatever, I'll leave it alone, figure it out later. This is not entertaining to watch. So I'm going to leave that over here so you can still see it. And we'll open up the second object that I received today, which is from a different company called Goff 3D Designs. They do a lot of chassis that go inside lightsabers. If you don't understand what I mean by chassis, I'll show you when this is open. Packing material. And there we go. And a shipping label. Get that out of the way. So this is 2 pieces, and this is kind of an optional piece that I've got here. This is like a cover for it. This is very nicely 3D printed. You know, usually I think of 3D printing as being really grainy plastic, and this is pretty nice. So this goes inside. Actually, I might show you how it fits inside. This goes inside the replica of the lightsaber and holds wires. The soundboard, I believe, goes right... Got tape on my finger. The soundboard is just like a little circuit board that you wire everything to. It goes here, I believe. And then there's a slot for the battery, and the speaker goes in here. And it all just goes together, and then the wires come in, and it holds everything together, and it holds the speaker solid. And then once you've put everything together, it's rolling away, then you can get out this piece to protect the soundboard. And you just slide that on here, like so, or like that, yeah. And that keeps your delicate electronics from getting damaged as you're moving this around. So this is very nice quality. It comes in white, and it looks a little technological. Maybe I'll, paint it, because you could paint this and make it look like electronics pretty easily. Some black and silver and gold and copper and stuff. So I might do that. That could be a fun project to add on to the lightsaber build, because I have no experience with electronics. I've been just learning from YouTube. And then there's the cover for it as well. It's not seated quite correctly, but I'm trying to get the camera to focus on it. So this is Goth 3D Designs. I believe it is called the Padawan chassis. There's more for it, but this one is specifically for the 89 Sabers Graflex hilt, which is the one that I bought from Korbanth. And then let's disassemble this thing since it's not together correctly anyway. And how do I get the clamp off? There we go. So then when this is actually, how do you get this off? Is it screw off? It must be. Or maybe you just put things down in it like this. So this will actually slide right in there. It actually fits very snugly when it's done. I'm assuming you can get the back of this off, but maybe you can't. Doesn't feel like it has any give. So you might have to assemble this kind of outside the lightsaber at first, and then when you're done and everything's assembled, I think it was upside down too, then you slide it right in like that, and it holds everything in place. And there must be like a correct way to assemble it so that it doesn't get in the way of the this like L-shaped thing in there. But once it's in there, your electronics aren't going anywhere, so you're not going to damage your stuff. But yeah, so this is what I got today, what I've been super excited about getting, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I think if you're interested, and if you found this video at all interesting, I could probably do some more videos about the progress of the project as it goes forward. Man, this thing is so pretty. I love this. And I'm going to put like a 1-inch plastic polycarbonate blade that you can remove in the top here. And I think that's what this screw is for, because it's half screwed out. This screw, I believe, holds the blade in once it's inserted. You can take it in and out, and that way you can wave it around, hit against stuff, and show off the light and the sound. It's kind of cool. But anyway, that's my Graflex from Korbanth / 89 Sabers. I'm going to go play with this some more and figure out how to put it together correctly. But we'll do a nice little show off of everything that I got next to itself. Clamp, bottom part, top half. Let's put it where the camera can actually see it, David. And then we've got the chassis. And of course the bags of gubbins. So yeah, thanks for watching, if you're still watching, and I hope this was enjoyable, fun to watch, and let me know if you want to see more about the lightsaber as we go, because I can definitely do that. So, adios!